Hi and welcome to this video log with me, Wayne, from swimmingcyclingrunning.com. Well, I'm just back from Cozumel where it was fantastic but incredibly hot, as you saw in the main triathlon with Alistair having to push Johnny across the line. Whilst I was there, I watched Alistair in the World Aquathlon Championships, and I just took the opportunity to take some footage because one of my most popular videos is Do the Brownies Run Like Sprinters? Well, Alistair's had his trouble with his ankle in recent past, but I also wanted to get better footage to analyse his running form, and I was able to do that around the finish of the World Aquathlon Championships. Let's go to the computer and I'll show you what I mean. Here comes Alistair into the finishing chutes at the World Aquathlon Championships in Cozumel just last week. We'll have a look at him. Notice he's got very fast feet. I make it that he's doing about 183 strides a minute, and that's faster than most athletes actually go. He doesn't look like he's making a huge effort though. He looks very smooth and very consistent with what he's doing. He's just going to slow down to come around the corner. There you go. It's just looking back, and you can see it just looks a really smooth type of run. Let's analyse that in greater detail. So looking at Alistair from a distance here as he approaches, we can see that relaxed style. But as his right foot comes down, you can see it's slightly turned out. Lands with his knees apart, but really drives off that foot. You can see that foot driving off. That's a lot of foot strength he has there. Left foot, not quite so pronounced a turn, but there's the pronation as he lands, not sinking into the ankle, and then driving off again. So he's really driving off those feet as he comes through. We'll take a closer look at that as he rounds the corner and is actually opposite us. We have Alistair in far better profile here, and you can see he's just about to land his left foot, and you can see that heel just slightly off the ground. And as we take it and he actually lands, there's a slight dip with the bend of the knee, but not a huge amount, and then he really drives from that toe off. But you can see also that does seem to be supinating. In other words, his foot is turning out as he does that, but that's a real drive off that foot. Now we'll take the other foot, and you can see that foot, you can see the actual sole of the shoe, so he's definitely supinated there, and as he lands we can see that is a midfoot strike. Now if we draw a line from his head to his hip and his knee to his ankle, you can see that the angle that his body is actually slightly leaning forward in is the angle that his foot and knee are at when he takes the weight under his body. And I think that's important for most runners to consider. It's not that you need your weight under your centre of gravity, probably, which would be around there for him. That's probably where about his centre of gravity is. You can see his foot's in front, but that the angle of the body to the angle of the foot landing should be very similar. That's quite important, I think, for most people to get, which I don't think they do get. They try and do something slightly different. Now, as we see that foot run through, you can see his body doesn't change its position. He's very stable in his body. It's upright and it doesn't sink, it doesn't twist. It's just that foot drives through and drives off. And you can see as it drives off, he supinates, and you can see the bottom of that shoe. So what we're talking about is turning his foot round to flick off that foot, and that's what most people don't do. You can see that extension that he's got, and once that extension's there, it means his foot is going to come up in recovery, and it's not coming up as far as you might think. A lot of people's recovery, where the heel actually goes much further towards the bum than his is doing there. Let's just roll it on and see whether the other foot actually turns as much as that one. So there we go, left foot down, and you can actually see the turn of that foot as well. So both feet are turning, but the right foot turns a lot more than the left. So that's an interesting aspect of Alistair's running, that the feet supinate, pronate, and then supinate again as they drive off. And that's each foot is doing exactly the same. And the plantar flexion off that foot, where he's driving that toe off the ground, is hugely important, I think, to the speed that he's running. Okay, so can we learn anything from that? I think we can. I think the angle that our knee to ankle is to our body position when it lands on the floor is hugely important. I think the cadence that we're running at, hugely important. Remember, 183 is what I clocked him at, and around 180 is what we expect elite runners to be. You can slowly but surely increase that. Here's a video that I'll link to doing exactly that, increasing cadence. And that drive off the back foot. Now, just so you all know, that is supination, that is pronation, and what Alistair does is he supinates, pronates, then drives off and supinates again. So that's why you can see the bottom of his foot on his right foot when he's driving off or has driven off. I think his right foot's more pronounced than his left, but might be because of his operations that he's had to have. Okay, think about that. Driving off the foot, you can do drills for that, low bounding, high bounding, skipping, things like that that will help you drive off that foot. Doing drills is hugely important for runners. Most people miss them out. Please don't. It will make you a better runner. Okay, that's all for this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully it's been more useful than the last Brownlee video because it's actually much better quality. All right, keep well. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.